name is Chris, and welcome to today's Coca-Cola 600 here today at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina. This race should be very, very interesting, considering the fact of what we saw back at the Winston and how everything kind of played out over there. This race should be about the same amount of chaos, but we're going to see. But jumping into this race, we got the point standings with Ryan Newman retaking the championship lead from Zachary Smithly after last time out at Richmond. And then Rudd is third, Jeff Gordon, who won last time out at Richmond, is in fourth. You got Johnson fifth, Bill Elliott in sixth, Matt Kenseth seventh, Kurt Busch eighth, Michael Waltrip in ninth, and Jeff Green in 10th. And you can obviously tell that Steve Park over there in 30th has a new ride in the 31, and so does Robbie Gordon in the number 1 DEI Penzo Chevy. So that is going to be something to get used to, but it won't take too long. But enough talk, let's go on ahead and get to the starting lineup for the start of tonight's race. So here we are at the starting lineup, so let's go through it. In row number 1, Jerry Nadeau grabs the pole in the U.S. Army number 01. To his outside is Ricky Rudd. In row number 2, you got the Roush Racing teammates of Jeff Byrne and Matt Kenseth. Row number 3 is Todd Bodine and Casey Mears with his best start of the season so far. Row 4, it is rookie Jamie McMurray and Ken Schrader. Row 5, it is Kevin Harvick and Kenny Wallace. Row 6 today will be Mark Martin and Jeremy Mayfield. Row 7, Dave Blaney and Kyle Petty. Row 8 is the Robert Yates teammates of Dale Jarrett and Elliott Sadler. Row 9 is Hermie Sadler making his first appearance since the Daytona 500. And to his outside is Bill Elliott. Row 10, you'll find Zachary Smithly and Sterling Marlin. Row 11 will be Greg Biffle and Ward Burton. Row 12, it is the Winston Cup point leader Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart to his outside. Row 13 is Kurt Busch and last race winner Jeff Gordon. Row 14, Steve Park and his new ride at RCR in the number 31, and to his outside will be Terry Labonte. Row 15, it is Robbie Gordon and his new team in the number 1 car for DEI, and to his outside is Tony Raines. Row 16 is Buckshot Jones making his first appearance since the Daytona 500, and Ricky Craven. Row 17, it is Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jason Keller making his second Winston Cup Series start. Row 18, it is Jeff Green and John Andretti. Row 19, it is Rusty Walls and Joe Nemechek. Row 20, Johnny Benson and Bobby Labonte. Row 21, Jimmie Johnson, who won the Winston a couple weeks ago, and Jimmy Spencer to his outside. And rounding out the field in row 22, it is Michael Waltrip. We didn't have a good qualifying, so he'll be unfortunately starting out towards the back. And the DNQs for today, we have Mike Skinner for the third time this season DNQing, with Brett Bodine also DNQing along with Larry Foyt, Christian Fittipaldi, Derek Cope, Kirk Shelmerdine, Kerry Earnhardt, and Morgan Shepherd are the other DNQs. And let's go on ahead and go through the track information. So, there's going to be multiple pit stops today. So the pit window is going to be around lap 35 to 45 for the first stop, and around lap 70 to 80 for the second stop. But for both stops, the tires should last around 35 to 40 laps. Meanwhile, the fuel can last a little bit longer, about 5 laps longer. So we'll see how the strategy will differ for today. And also, apart from the Winston, there is 10 gallons more of fuel added. So even though there is more fuel, still the same tires. Gotta keep that in mind. Tires haven't changed, but the fuel has been upped. And is there a possibility that we will see a brand new winner? And will there be crashes? Because we saw a lot in the Winston. And then here are the race winners of the season. We have 3 multi-time winners with Newman, Zachary, and Burton. And then the other 5 of Bill Elliott, Jimmie Johnson, Greg Biffle, Jamie McMurray, and Jeff Gordon have all won one singular race so far this season. So either today we will have another repeat winner, maybe a first 3-time winner of the season, maybe another 2-time winner, or will we see a brand new winner this season? Who knows? But Jerry Nadeau in that 01 car has probably the best seat in the house, leading the field to the green flag. But there's going to be a lot to unpack for tonight. It's definitely going to be a race that is going to not only end the first third of the season, since this is race number 12 of the season. Not only is 1/3 of the season going to be down after today, but we're going to see essentially who are going to be the championship favorites as we head later into the season. And maybe tonight will be the night. But the only way really to find out is by going racing. But we do have about 1 to 2 more laps of pace laps, as a matter of fact, until we go green. And yeah, a lot of big things to mention. Obviously, Steve Park and Robbie Gordon swapped rides before the Winston last time after Richmond. The first time we actually saw them was back in the Winston Open, and Robbie Gordon's success was shown immediately as he ended up winning the Open and made the main show. And fortunately, Steve Park didn't make the main show, but Robbie Gordon did. And even though Robbie Gordon was eliminated in the first round, or first segment for that matter, it was definitely successful for him and his essentially debut ride with DEI. But tonight is going to be the night where we're actually going to see how both Steve Park and Robbie Gordon are going to fare in their new teams and also in their new rides. So tonight will definitely be a night of who is going to be the better man in their car, because obviously it didn't work out for Robbie Gordon at RCR so far this season. It didn't work out for Steve Park this season. So maybe today it'll change. Who knows? But there is going to be one way to find out. There is going to be a way to find out about it. And this race is going to determine that. But also it's going to determine a lot of other things. This is a big race. This is a 125-mile race with 100 laps to it. So anything could happen in these 100 laps. Anything can happen in these 125 miles. So that's going to be the main key factor for today's race. But now that we've got the preliminaries out of the way, let's go on ahead and send it up to Mike, Joey, Larry Mack, and DW to go on ahead and lead us to the green flag for the longest race of the season.
Oh boy.
Well, this will be 3 laps complete, but the green flag has not yet waved. So Johnson couldn't come in, and we've not really started, have we?
Oh, I knew we haven't started the race yet.
Well, we better get ready.
You better pull them belts tight. I know it's not going to be comfortable, but 4 hours, buddy, it's yours.
Oh, baby, here we go. Boogity, 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 boys, let's go racing.
Trouble on the front straightaway. Jimmie Johnson hard into the wall in the front while the green flag flies, but there's no caution. What in the world? There's no caution, but Johnson is stopped on the inside. The Winston winner is essentially out of this race on lap 1. And there it is, the black flag for Michael Waltrip. He hooked Jimmie Johnson. That's a deserved black flag for Mikey. The lap 1 down, and Jerry Nady leads the first lap. Chaos from the start, as we'll see Michael Waltrip heading down pit road to serve his penalty. Don't know what kind of transpired there. Race didn't even get underway. Johnson didn't even cross the start-finish line, and he got hooked by Waltrip. Don't know if these two had any beef or whatever, but that's insane. So look a little bit further back to Zachary. Michael Waltrip completes his penalty. Chaos immediately. What in the world are we doing? What in the hell? But as already, Jeff Burton has made his way up into second place. There you see Michael Waltrip coming off pit road. Here are the top 10 as they stand. You got Jerry Nady leading with Jeff Burton in second. Ricky Rudd third. Tappadine fourth. Jamie McMurray in fifth. Matt Kens is sixth. Kevin Harvick in seventh. Casey Mears running solidly in the top 10 in P8. Mark Martin in ninth and Ken Schrader in 10th. As you see further back here with all these drivers, a lot of fast cars like Jeff Green, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, Joe Nemechek even, Rusty Wallace. There you see Robbie Gordon in the Pennzoil Chevy. A little bit further up the road is the 31 of Steve Park. And then Jason Keller in the 0, which could be his final race for now in that Net Zero Pontiac, but we'll see as the weeks progress if he's going to compete in that car next time out. But as we can see, as you see Jimmie Johnson, as a matter of fact, coming back on the racetrack. His night is essentially already done after getting hooked on the straightaway before we even took the green flag. My oh my. And you see actually Hermie Sadler on the O2. He's kind of fighting Elliott Sadler a little bit, but he's got damage on the right front. Not too sure where that came from. We'll get a little bit of a replay of what happened back here. Oh, contact between from Buckshot Jones and Johnny Benson. And that's essentially what happened to Benson last time around. So he's essentially out of it now, unless maybe a caution comes out and he can get a lap back. But nothing more than that. As Rudd actually got it back around Todd Bodine in the 54. And actually he got back around Jeff Burton as he's losing positions, as a matter of fact. He lost one to Rudd, he lost one to Bodine, he lost another one to Jamie McMurray. He's going to lose another one to Harvick. And as you see, Rudd and Nadeau coming up on Michael Waltrip. Nadeau had to kind of check up a little bit. You got Rudd on the inside of Nadeau. He's going to take the lead away. But can Nadeau fight him on the outside? Heading into turn 1 and 2. In the center of 1 and 2. Pushing up the track a little bit. And Nadeau gets an excellent run. He takes the lead back from the 21 of Rudd. Jerry Nadeau has come so close to winning a cup race in the past 3 seasons. Could tonight be the night where he finally gets the job done and wins? Especially in the 01 car. Got Kevin Harvick in the 29, though. He wants his first one of the season, so he's going to be marching his way through the field. Rudd, who's been pretty consistent without a win so far this year, sitting 3rd in the championship. He's doing pretty good. You see Zachary in the 80 car making his way up to 5th. That 80 car, he was bad fast in the Winston. You see Harvick making the move on Rudd to take 2nd place. He's going to charge right after Nadeau with an excellent run in the center of 3 and 4. He won't be able to get to Nadeau in time. Maybe you will. Goes right to the outside. Nadeau checked up, and there goes Harvick around the outside to take the lead. Harvick out front of Charlotte. And Rudd's going to follow him in the 21. Nadeau has lost 2 spots and the lead. But now Kevin Harvick, who seems to be the fastest, is going pretty good. See a replay of what happened to Biffle. Him and Gore made contact and put Biffle on the wall. Doesn't look like it's too much damage to the 16 of Biffle. Seems to be alright in the 16 car. Actually, I think we just saw Hermie Sadler going down pit road, as a matter of fact. So this was from a lap ago. Here comes McMurray around the inside of Ricky Rudd to take 2nd place. He'll do it. Jerry Nadeau has lost 4th. It might lose 5th to Zach. Got a 4-man battle going on for P2. Here comes Zach on the inside. He's going to make it 3 wide on McMurray. Oh, man. McMurray and Zach almost made it 3 wide with Rudd. But Zachary's going to take advantage of it. He's going to go for 2nd. Entering turn 1. Can he get him? He does. What a move by Zachary in the 80 car. You see McMurray and Rudd fighting it out for 2nd again. Got the Roush teammates of Jeff Byrne and Matt Kenseth fighting it out for 6th place. Zachary in the 80, he was quoted in saying that he probably could have caught Johnson and passed him in the Winston if he just had enough tire. But he wasn't able to quite do it because the tires faded towards the end. And Johnson's never did. So maybe tonight will be the night you see Biffle on pit road. If there's Biffle, he's actually coming off pit road, so he definitely fixed the damage on that 16 car. The rookie who's had a string of good races is not having a good start so far tonight as Joe Nemechek at the 25. Looks like he caught the wall a little bit. There you see Hermie Sadler in the 02. Buckshot's actually got some damage. There's Johnson in the 48, who is 4 laps down to the leader. He's pulling away from Harvick, but Harvick's gonna get a little bit of competition from Zachary in the 80 car. Look at Zachary, just runs the bottom, runs the blue line all the way around. Kind of shoots up the track a little bit, but Zachary, he hooked the bottom a lot in the Winston, and he's hooking the bottom a lot here again. Oh, he kind of slid up the track a little bit in the center of 3 and 4. That was kind of Zachary's main issue in the Winston as well. Anytime you get a good run and try to chase after Jimmie, you get a little tight in the center of 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, and that would cost him. So we look back to 5th. Look at Casey Mears in the 41, going right around his teammate, Jamie McMurray. Look at him go. Here comes Ryan Newman in the 12 car. Casey Mears running in the top 5 as of right now. He's got a lot of faster cars. He's got Newman, the point leader, behind with Burton as well. McMurray's kind of fading a little bit, but he's going right back into the clutches of Kenseth. And now Newman and Casey Mears are side by side for 5th place, and Newman's going to go right around the outside and take that spot away from him. And Casey Mears, he's been quietly getting some decent finishes a lot as of late, and even running consistently well. So Casey Mears in that 41 car, there is a possibility that he could maybe continue to get some good finishes. Maybe he'll crack that top 35. Well, actually, he's past top 35. Maybe he can get in the top 30 by, who knows, maybe before Daytona. Because even though Newman has the position, Mears is still holding on to 6th place. Look at the battle going on behind him. Look at those cars. A lot of fast cars. Jeff Burton, Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth, Bill Elliott. My, oh my. That's a lot. That's a lot of fast cars. And behind them is Bodine, Ken Schrader, and Dave Blaney. You see Burton going to the inside to grab 6th place off of Casey Mears, and he does so with ease. Just rolls that bottom ever so slightly and just does a fantastic job getting around him. And now we look a little bit further ahead. Harvick is still maintaining the gap to Zachary. Zachary is still trying to find a way to maybe get a little bit closer to Harvick, but also at the same time trying to save her tire around the bottom. Doesn't want to force the issue. But Harvick is trying to get to Michael Waltrip, as we're going to see what happened to Waltrip's teammate, Earnhardt Jr., actually. Contact with, oh man, huge contact with John Andretti. And that is big, big damage for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Huge damage for Dale. And that's essentially going to be Dale's night over as well because of all that damage. But back up front, Harvick trying to lap Michael Waltrip once more, try to put him a lap down. Doesn't look like he can get him quite well. This might open the door for Zach to maybe get a little bit closer to him. Harvick runs the same line as Michael Waltrip does. Zachary runs that bottom. Here comes Nadeau and Rudd. There's Junior on pit road. He's making a stop, looking to get his car fixed up, and we're going to go back out and see what he can salvage of tonight. So we look further back. You see Jeff Gordon, the 24, back there, last race winner. Final lot of drivers. You got Tony. Man, look at this battle from Keller and Ricky Craven. My, oh my. Got the Hendrick teammates of Johnson and Nemechek fighting it out. Buckshot's got some damage on the right front still. He's still going. Doesn't look like it's affected his car too much. Just might be upsetting the balance a little bit. There you see Andretti in the 43. That damage on the right front is definitely going to be affecting him in a lot of ways. As we actually see John Andretti actually does come down pit road to fix that damage and head back out on the racetrack. He has some pretty hefty damage from the contact from Dale Jr., so I'm not shocked that he would head down pit road and get that damage fixed. As we come off of turn number 4, Zachary gets close to Harvick, but as we complete lap 20, we are 1/5 of the way through this race. And Kevin Harvick in the 29 still leads, but by under a second to Zachary behind. So we have a replay of what happened to Ricky Rudd, as a matter of fact. When he made contact with Nadeau. And that explains why Ricky Rudd has some damage on the right side. As you see down at the bottom right of the screen, Harvick is finally going to get around Michael Waltrip. Looks like we're going to ride on board with Ricky Rudd to see what happened. Nadeau actually checked up and just had no indication, no care in the world that Ricky Rudd was to his outside. That's a little bit iffy on the behalf of Jerry Nadeau. Now you see he's nowhere behind Jerry Nadeau anymore. As we go further back through the field to see all the drivers. There's Johnson, and there's Rudd making his pit stop. But back out front, Nadeau, he's actually caught Zach a little bit, because Zach is now stuck behind Michael Waltrip in the 15. Zach's probably thinking, please, Mikey, get out of the way. I got a faster car. But Mikey, he made it difficult on Kevin Harvick, and I don't think he's going to make it easier on Zach. If this keeps up, though, Nadeau might actually get around Zachary. And Nadeau, his car is actually coming alive. Nadeau's car might actually be fast in the longer runs. So Jerry Nadeau, he might have a race-winning car. As now you see Kevin Harvick still out front. He's pulling away from Zach, because Zach unfortunately cannot get around Michael Waltrip in the 15. Zach's tires might be going away, and he can't get good runs off these corners. He is trying to somehow get closer to the 15, but at the same time, he's got Nadeau behind him. You look further back. There's Johnson. Just not... Definitely one of those Saturday nights. Says, oh, Tony Raines is off the pace, and he's got big damage on the right front and left front of the car. He definitely smacked the wall, or got put in the wall by somebody. Oh, and it's by Ricky Rudd, I think, too, in the 21. So Ricky Rudd, who got in the wall, who got put in the wall by Jerry Nadeau, looks like him and Tony Raines made more contact. Oh my God, look at this pack of cars right here. A lot of them are fast cars. Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, Tony Stewart, Elliott Sadler, and Bobby Labonte. Man, oh man. You see Steve Parker, the 31, he's actually having a good race. He's right ahead. He's ahead of the Roush Racing teammate, so he's doing pretty good in that singular Chevy. He's doing pretty good. You see up ahead, Casey Mears. Oh my God, he is fighting for his life to stay ahead of the 49. Pit stops are coming up too, so that's another thing that these drivers got to pay attention to. Pit stops are coming up. But this is such a gaggle of cars. See, Bodine, he actually got a really good run, but he can't take it anywhere because he got caught behind the 49 of Ken Schrader. I mean, off the corner, they all got to sort it out. Still battling. So if nobody gets put in the wall this time around. Oh, man, Johnny Benson. It is such a massive run. He almost just slammed into the back of somebody. Oh, Bodine, he almost got really close to Bill Elliott. It was like Mark Martin got underneath of him and about tapped him in the left rear. Now they're 3 wide down the back straightaway with Park, Blaney, and Martin. They got to be really careful right there. Hopefully they make it out of there alive. To look back further ahead, to see Terry Labonte is actually on pit road. It seems like he made contact with somebody. But now we head back up to the now we head back to the front of the field. There we go. Can't speak. Zachary's actually lost second to Nadeau, who's now trying to hound Michael Waltrip to get him out of the way. And maybe try to chase after Harvick. I mean, Zach's night, it ain't over for him. There's still an entire pit stop and all that to go, as we actually have a replay coming up of another incident of actually what happened to Terry. Oh, him and Jeff Green made contact. So the group of cars that I thought that were actually going to make contact, that didn't make contact, well, the other group that I thought would make contact, they did. So you see on board with Terry. This is the same thing that happened with Nadeau and Rudd. That's pretty much essentially what happened with the same thing that happened with Nadeau and Ricky Rudd. Just not a care in the world for Terry Labonte being there. But you're going to ride on board with Elliott Sadler, who was behind all this. This is what he saw. Oh yeah, Jeff Green just he had no recollection that Terry was even there. And now let's go ahead and do a little bit of a NASCAR 2003 iRacing crank it up here at Charlotte. As we actually see one car on pit road. I think that was Mark Martin, the 6. The pit stops are coming up in the next 3 laps, around lap 35, but also in the next 8 laps around 40. So lap 35 to 40 is where they're going to be. As actually, I think Kevin Harvick is actually going to make his pit stop. It looks like he's going down the track. Is he going to start slowing down? He is starting to slow down. Okay, Kevin Harvick is on pit road. He's coming down. Nadeau does not come down pit road. He'll stay out. Grab the lead back, lead another lap. See Casey Mears, Ken Schrader came in, Dale Jarrett, Tony Stewart, Jason Keller, Ricky Craven, Buckshot. Obviously Kevin Harvick at the 29 came in as well. There's Zachary in the 80, Jay McMurray in the 42, Jeff Burton in the 99, Ward Burton, Steve Park, looks like Kurt Busch. Yep, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace. So quite a bit of drivers didn't come in. I think now Jerry Nadeau might be coming in. Nope, he doesn't come in. He may have thought he was going to come in, but then he ended up slowing up Michael Waltrip in the 15. Now Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, who's pretty much had his race done since he made contact with Andretti. He's actually catching these two. But Nadeau, he's either run out of tires or run out of fuel, And he just let Michael Waltrip on by. He might just have to let Dale Jr. on by too. As Harvick, he's off pit road now. As Nadeau's going to go right to the bottom. Is he going to come down pit road? I think he might this time. We'll see. Oh, him and Waltrip, I think. Yep, Waltrip comes down pit road too, but he's a lap down, so it doesn't matter. So Nadeau's in. There's Johnson. There's Spencer. Ryan Newman will take the lead. He'll lead a lap. He'll gain 5 bonus points. There you see Hermie Sadler in the 0-2. Whoa, 3 wide between Zachary Reigns and Elliott Sadler. What in the world? We're going to talk about the drivers on pit road. Oh, my God. Oh, Zachary really close to Benson. Not Andretti, but Benson. But he made it work. Holy cow, Zach. Giving us all a heart attack even all these months later. Holy cow. As we see now, Ryan Newman's going to head down pit road. That's his champ. That's Zachary's main title contender and title rival in Ryan Newman in the Alltel Dodge. To look back ahead, Matt Kenseth is not actually going to be the leader this time around, because he is currently behind Nadeau and McMurray. Now he's just behind behind Nadeau. Is there you see Harvick in the 29? You see Newman on pit road. He's got his service done. He's out and away. Kevin Harvick to the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's going to take the lead away from Ryan Newman right about now. And Kevin Harvick is back out front here at Charlotte. There you see Newman coming off of pit road. There's Waltrip, McMurray, Kenseth, Nadeau, Casey Mears, Zachary. We're going to see where Ryan Newman blends at. Currently, right now, there are 3 rookies inside the top 10. Zachary, Casey Mears, and Jamie McMurray. Ooh, man. And Tony Raines, actually. No, that's actually 4. So Tony Raines also in the top 10. But right now, the battle for fourth, excuse me, going on. Terry Labonte going back down pit road with even more damage on the right front of his car. There was another car on pit road. That's Buckshot Jones in the 0. Don Andretti looks like he's got more damage in the 43. Yeah, he's got way more damage on the 43 than he had when he made contact with Dale Jr. My drivers are making contact left and right. Zachary actually got around Casey Mears, and he's going to go back after the 0-1 of Jerry Nadeau. Whoa, wow, what a run for Zachary in the center of 3 and 4. He got an amazing run. He's to the inside of Nadeau. Can he grab 4th? Gets a nice exit. He actually kind of pushed Nadeau up the track a little bit. Didn't make contact with him, but he pretty much told Nadeau, hey, I'm going to get the spot one way or another. And he got it. So now Zach's up to 4th. Mears is going to try to follow him, try to take 5th. He can't, unfortunately, so Nadeau will hold 5th. Mears will hold 6th. So now Zach is going to go after 3rd and 2nd, which is McMurray and Kenseth. Dale Jarrett's coming off a pit road in the 88. There you see Harvick all the way off of turn number 2 in 2nd place. Is in the middle of 1 and 2. Now they're coming off of turn number 2 right now. This is going to be a chess match essentially of who can catch Harvick the fastest, and I think we all know who might be able to catch him. Because it definitely ain't McMurray in the 42 that's going to be able to pass him. As you see, Schrader actually gets around Ryan Newman in the 12. Newman looks like he's going to fight the 74 of Tony Raines a little bit, and it doesn't look like it. He's in a hold position over Tony. See Zachary in the 80 car. He's making a charge at the 17 of Matt Kenseth. And Jay McMurray in the 42. So even though they completed 1 pit stop, they got another 1 to go. But the more time that they could try to gain on Harvick, who's now coming off of turn number 4 in 2nd place, is now in the middle 3 and 4. It's going to be a big deal, as now we are 2/5 of the way through the race. We got 3/5 more to go, as we're going to see a 3-car battle, looks like, for 2nd place between McMurray, Kenseth, and Zach. The main question is, who's going to be able to roll their car even better and get a better run than the other? Looks like Zach's going to get a better run than Kenseth down the back straightaway. They almost get together. They're side by side going into 3 and 4. Zach holds it on the bottom. Kenseth holds it in the middle. Zach drifts up the track a little bit, but they don't make contact. Still side by side. Zachary kind of has the spot, but not quite. He might get him into turns 1 and 2. You see both of them lift off the throttle, but Zachary just gets a better entry, better arc into the corner, and he's got 2nd, or rather 3rd. He's going to try to defend Matt Kenseth. Oh, Matt's going to go for it, but Zach blocks it. Kenseth's still gonna go for it, and Zach, oh, a little bit of contact between the two. Zach and Kenseth almost just crashed. Zachary was trying to defend Kenseth. He defended him all right, but oh my God. That could have been disastrous for Zachary and Kenseth. Now Nate who's going to take advantage of it and go right around the outside of Zach. Or will he? Zach gets a better entry into 1 and 2, and he's still going to hold third. Wow. That was almost disastrous. All right, everyone, put your hearts back in place. Whew. Well, I think everyone's heart collectively dropped. Oh, man. Well, now Zach's going to chase after McMurray in the 42, and in turn, Harvick, who's a ways up the road, 5 seconds to be exact, up the road from Jamie McMurray. As you see, there's Gordon, Bodine. So there are 4 lap cars in between Harvick in second place, McMurray. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip are fighting for position. Kenseth's going to go back on Jerry Nadeau. Zachary's still trying to catch McMurray. Kenseth actually gets a really good entry into 3. Can he get him on the inside? He might be able to. He doesn't quite clear him. Nadeau gets a better run on the outside of 3 and 4. Nadeau's going to hold it for now. But can Kenseth get a better run? A better entry, maybe? He holds that middle, but Nadeau's been fast on the outside. And Exhibit A. There goes Nadeau. But here comes Zach on the inside of McMurray up ahead. Nadeau clears Kenseth. McMurray wants to hold second, but Zachary does exactly what he did to Nadeau. Pushes him up the track a little bit without making any contact. But he grabs second away from McMurray. Now Kenseth's going to grab 4th from Nadeau. So 2 passes made within about 3 seconds of one another. So now Zachary's second. Can he go run down Harvick before the next cycle of pit stops? He's got Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip first to deal with. Then he's got his team boss, Jeff Gordon, and Todd Bodine. Actually, as a matter of fact, he doesn't have Todd Bodine to deal with. Todd Bodine just passed Harvick. So Harvick, this might be a bit of an issue for Harvick if he's stuck behind a lap car. Especially against Todd Bodine in the 54. Well, Harvick running a line that he doesn't normally run, but he's getting loose. He got real loose. Gordon passes him. That's gonna cost Harvick some time with that. So you see Waltrip, there's Zachary making the pass on Earnhardt Jr. Kenseth's heading down the back straightaway, looking at the inside of Jamie McMurray for 3rd. Is he going to clear him going into 3? He kind of tries to push McMurray up the track. McMurray kind of stays there, but Kenseth will get him off of 4. Or will he? Here comes McMurray fighting back on the outside, but it seems like Kenseth's got a full car length advantage over McMurray in the 42. So he'll keep the position. Maybe not. Here goes McMurray back on the outside. He's going to regain 3rd place from Kenseth. Maybe not, because here comes Kenseth back. Now Kenseth coming back on Jamie McMurray. McMurray trying to hold that spot down. He's trying, and he got him. He held it. He held it over Kenseth. So McMurray stays in 3rd. While Zachary is still trying to run down Michael Waltrip, but there's Harvick. He's not that far ahead of Waltrip and Zach anymore. So you see Gordon and Bodine going at it, and there's Robbie Gordon of the 1 on the apron. A lot of damage on the right front. This is definitely a night that DEI would like to forget with Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and now Robbie Gordon. See the rookie Zachary trying to get to the 15 of Waltrip. He definitely wants to pass Waltrip fast enough to where he could still be able to run down Kevin Harvick at the 29. As Harvick is still maintaining the gap, but he is kind of losing time to Waltrip in the 15 behind as we look further ahead. Look at that gaggle of cars with Jason Keller in front. Holy smoly. Got Hermie Sadler in the 02 ahead of all this. And then way up ahead is Elliott Sadler and Kurt Busch. You see Steve Parker in the 31 having himself a pretty good race. He's fighting Sterling Marlin in the 40. Here you see Harvick in the 29. We're halfway through the race. Zach got around Waltrip. Now it's on. It's on. Zach was trying to run down Johnson in the Winston, and now that Johnson is essentially not his competitor tonight, and Harvick is, can Zach actually run down Harvick? But we're going to find out in the next 49 laps. Zach's got Michael Waltrip right behind him still, and even though Waltrip might be putting some pressure on Zachary to maybe get going, Zachary might try to still pull away from Waltrip, and it looks like he's going to off of turn 2. You look further back, you see McMurray in the 42. There you see Dale Jarrett in the 88. He's not for position. Look at Casey Mears. He's all by himself in 6. He's having himself a really good race in that Target Dodge. And way further back, look at this. Way further back, you see Mark Martin, Dave Blaney, Jeff Burton. Look at all these drivers. That is so many fast cars. He's still got the big gaggle of cars. Robbie Gordon is back out on the racetrack. See Kyle Petty. And all the way back to Kevin Harvick, who's halfway down the back straightaway, and Zachary's just not coming off of turn 2. He's actually entering the halfway down the back straightaway now as Harvick enters 3. So there's about half a straightaway in between Harvick and Zach right now. Rather, a full set of corners in between the two. But Harvick is still maintaining the gap. He is not letting up. He's trying to find a way to cool off his tires. So that's why he's running the higher line, but Zachary's trying to savor his tires. So even though Harvick's trying not to force the issue and push his tires a whole lot, Zachary's still trying to savor his tires. And even though they might be running a little bit hot, that's the best chance Zach has got to try to catch Harvick. There you see Zach. He doesn't quite run the bottom. He kind of runs a little bit off that white line. Oh, he kind of gets a little bit tight. Oh, he catches the wall. Looks like he just kissed it a little bit. He's all right. He's all good. Doesn't look like it's too bad a contact. Doesn't look like he got a whole lot of damage. Might just have a little bit of a dent in the right front, maybe fender. Maybe it looks good. So now Harvick's crew chief is going to radio that to him, and that's going to be good for Harvick. Because now Harvick knows that Zach's essentially pushing. Oh, Zach almost gets really close to that wall again. That's going to be good for Harvick because now Harvick can understand that Zachary might not make it to the next series of stops if he keeps pushing this hard. So now he's just got to keep running his race. Zachary just has to keep running his as well. And he's running really good around that bottom. He's closing that gap on the 29. He's doing a will of a job in that 80 car. He is getting closer to Harvick, but the other thing too is Harvick is getting closer to the lap traffic. Zachary actually runs that middle line, a line that he actually hasn't run all night long. I don't really know if that changes his speed or whatever. Mark Martin actually came down pit road. Don't know exactly what happened to him. That might actually kick off the next series of stops because a lot of drivers who may hit the wall and had to come down pit road for repairs on their cars, they're having to come down around now. So if any of those drivers catch Zachary or Harvick as Ryan Newman's off the pace. Newman's got a lot of damage. The Winston Cup point leader, he's got damage on the left and right front. What has happened to Ryan Newman? Well, that is essentially Newman's night over. What in the world happened to him? We might get a replay, but we're not 100% sure if that's going to happen, as now we look further back. Looks like Benson in the 10's got a lot of damage. Looks like it just kissed the wall a little bit as he was trying to get away from Robbie Gordon to the 1. So we look further back in the pack. Nemechek all the way up on the outside once again. Not too sure if he just got tight and smacked the wall, but Zachary's actually closing the gap on Harvick. That's insane. Zach may have hit the wall and everything like that, but he's getting closer and closer to Harvick. But at the same time, Dale Jarrett in that 88 UPS Ford, he's also getting closer. He is getting closer to Zachary, which in turn, if he gets close to Zach, he might get closer to Harvick. As now we're on lap 60, as you see Dale Jarrett around the outside of Michael Waltrip. Jarrett's got faster tires. He's got fresher tires. You see Sadler in the 38s off of pit road. Sadler, I don't think, got any damage, or he may have gotten damage, but not too sure about that. See Harvick in the 29 just maintaining the gap. Joe Nemechek in the 25s on pit road. Now the question is, when do you come down pit road? Because now that a lot of these drivers that are the lap cars, now that they're coming down pit road and they're getting fresher tires, that might mean that a lot of these drivers might want to come down early and get those tires too. And that's something that Harvick's got to take into consideration. You see Warburton who essentially caused like 90% of the accidents in the Winston, is off the pace with damage on the right front. That is yet another car that is going to come down and get a fast repair. And 4 fresh tires. Oh, Zach caught the wall again! He catches the wall right in front of the Robert Yates duo of Elliott Sadler and Dale Jarrett. They're going to go right around the outside of Zachary. At least Dale Jarrett does. But in turn, they're going to catch Harvick pretty fast because they both have fresh tires. Yep, there you see Sadler gets around Zach as well. Zach's just going to follow in their trail. Maybe try to save her some more. Try to save her more tire if he can. This is going to be a cat and mouse game between Zachary and Kevin Harvick. This next pit stop is going to be the make or break deal for one of these two drivers. And a Coca-Cola 600 win is on the line. Sadler actually got around his teammate Dale Jarrett. He might actually unlap himself, which he looks like he's going to. He actually got a really good run in the center 1 and 2. He's going to take that momentum. Harvick trying to push him down to the inside, but Sadler's having none of it. Sadler wants that lap back. He thinks he can fight for the win. Sadler gets his lap back. He pushes Harvick to the outside. That's going to force Harvick to lose even more time. Look at the gap close on Harvick and Zach. Here comes Jarrett in the 88. Even though Jarrett's tires might be going away, he's still got fresher tires than the 29 of Harvick ahead. Zach's just following Dale Jarrett in the 88 car. There's not really any other driver that may have fresher tires other than Mark Martin and Joe Nemechek in the back all the way off at turn number 1. They still got a ways to go until they catch Waltrip and then Zach. The gap is slowly eking out again between Harvick and Zachary. But this is about that time now where you gotta start thinking. There's 6 laps until the pit window opens. Main question is, do you take it with 30 to go or do you take it with 25 to go? Do you want 5 lap fresher tires, or do you want to maybe jump the next driver ahead of you by 5 laps? Does Harvick want to eke out his advantage by 5 more laps, or does Zachary want to pit maybe 5 laps before Harvick and try to gain a big advantage over him? That's the main question that everyone's going to be asking. John Andretti's on pit road in the 43 Cheerios Dodge with damage what it looks like on the right front again. See Michael Waltrip coming back on Zachary. Looks like Zach's just trying to savor his tires. If he's going to let Mikey go, he's going to let him go. Looks like he does. Maybe for the time being, I'm not too sure. Zach kind of fights a little bit, but there he goes. He goes right back. He goes right, slots right in behind Michael Waltrip in the 15. Here comes Nemechek. Nemechek's got fresher tires in the 15 and the 80, so Zachary might let him go. That's a Hendrick affiliate car in Zachary. Fighting a Hendrick driver in Nemechek. Gee, Nemechek's all the way up on the outside. It looks like Zach's going to take advantage. Might make it 3 wide. It's close, but big run off the outside for Joe Nemechek. Andretti just came off a pit road. So now that Zachary's seen all these fresher tires, he might want to get to Harvick, but Harvick, he's thinking he might be able to push it further. Zachary got back around Michael Waltrip in the 15. Harvick's actually catching Kenny Wallace in the 23. There you see back there Andretti making a move on Dale Jarrett. So the drivers in between Harvick and Zach that have fresher tires right now is Andretti in the 43 and Nemechek in the 25. Jarrett's tires are actually going a little bit. Jarrett, Zachary, and Waltrip's tires are going. Harvick's tires, I think, have been going for a long while now. He just hasn't done anything about it. As we look further back to Zach, is he going to give the spot to Michael Waltrip in the 15? He might. Mark Martin, the 6, also's got fresher tires. Yeah, Zach gets a little bit close. Waltrip goes all the way to the outside. Here comes Martin. Fresher tires. Then both of these drivers. There you see Newman in the 12. He's got fresher tires than even his championship rival Zach does. So even though Zach just got passed by the 15 and 6, this might be a good indication for Zach. Zach is probably going to have these drivers go after Harvick and fight Harvick. Because maybe if they keep Harvick at bay on the outside, that'll force Harvick to maybe not pit for a few more laps. Spencer up ahead's actually got some damage. Andretti and Nemechek just passed Harvick. Dale Jarrett actually pulls the gap. Mark Martin and Michael Waltrip are going to try to get closer. Yeah, look at this. Because there's nowhere to go for Harvick, he's now stuck behind these drivers. He's stuck behind Spencer, Wallace, and Nemechek. You see Craven on pit road? So we look further back. Zachary's on pit road. Zachary has come down pit road, coming to 30 laps to go. Is that going to be the race-winning move for Zach? We're going to see. There you see Harvick. Here comes Jarrett. He's forcing Harvick to the outside. Contact between Nemechek and Spencer. It slows Harvick down even more. Harvick didn't make any contact, but that slows down Harvick so much. Now Newman is now in contention to maybe try to grab the spot. Not the lead, but he's in contention to get around Harvick. Make it more difficult. Ken's is coming down pit road. There you see Kenny Walls in the 23 down pit road. Zach's coming off of pit road. He's probably questioning why Harvick is so close to him. He has no idea that Harvick just almost got in an accident. Oh my god, Craven up ahead almost just got into the 25 of Nemechek. We see Newman, he's actually pulling away. Craven's going to pull away from Harvick. Harvick's not pitting. Harvick actually might wait for 25 to go. Harvick might actually wait. He's still going. He's still trucking along, but Zachary, he might actually be making up lap time. Harvick might be trying to hope for a caution, and just to maybe save his race. You see Mark Martin of the 6, he lost quite a bit of time from that accident. Spencer's still on the apron. I don't know if he made any more contact or what, but he's super, super slow. Maybe his car didn't turn coming on to pit road. Or maybe he made more contact coming off of pit road. Jerry Nadeau's coming up pit road. There you see Zachary in the 80 car. Waltrip and Nemechek, or Waltrip and McMurray pitted. Buckshot pitted. Terry Labonte's coming off of pit road. There you see Zach. Zach's putting in good lap time. Drivers are coming off of pit road. They've got fresher tires than Harvick. Harvick's got to make a decision. He's got to pit around. He's got to pit now. But he's not even anywhere near the bottom of the racetrack to even indicate that he's coming down pit road. There's 26 laps to go, and a Coca-Cola 600 win is on the line right now, and Harvick might be throwing it away because he's not coming down pit road. His tires are shot. Here comes Kyle Petty in the 45. This should be an indication for Harvick to come down pit road. There you see Zachary in the middle of 1 and 2. He's actually coming off of turn 2 right now. There he is. There you see Waltrip, Kenseth, Bonnie, Bill Elliott, Ward Burton, Nadeau, Reigns, Robbie Gorham, Jamie McMurray, Jeff Burton, Ken Schrader, Buckshot, Rudd, Spencer, Bobby Labonte, Dave Blaney, all of these drivers. The main question is, will Kevin Harvick come down pit road? Harvick may have come down. Harvick did come down. He's on pit road now. You see his teammate. There he is. Harvick is on pit road now. But his main rival, Zachary, is going to get the advantage that he needed. Zachary's coming off of turn 4 right now. There he is in the background. Harvick's coming off of pit road. Here comes Zach. Going into turn 1, he's going to grab the lead from Kevin Harvick. Zachary played the strategy game correctly. He played it right, and he's out front of Charlotte, leading the Coca-Cola 600. Look at the gap that's in between Zachary and Harvick now as Bodine's off the pace. He's got damage on the right front, I think. Let's see where Harvick is. There's Harvick. He's fighting Michael Waltrip in the 15. He lost so much time to Zachary in the 80 car, who's so far up the field. Did you see Steve Parks on pit road with Rusty Wallace behind? Oh my god, look at this car. Look at all these cars further ahead. There's Zachary. He's in the middle of all of this. Look at him go. To the inside of Jeremy Mayfield. He's going to try to maybe get to the inside of Earnhardt Jr. Jr. sees Zachary's got a better run. Oh my god, they get close again. But Zachary gets the run. Almost hits Benson again. But Zachary's going to go right around the two of them. Zachary making quick work of the lap traffic, but he also knows that Kevin Harvick is fast as well. The more cars he can put a lap down, the more cars he can put in between him and Harvick. Zachary's almost like 6 seconds ahead of Harvick right now. There's Harvick in the background. He's back. He got past Terry Labonte, or is he ahead of Terry Labonte? We're coming to 22 to go. Harvick's got 22 more laps to try to get a gap. Here comes Mark Martin on pit road. Look further ahead. Here's Zach. He played the strategy game correct. He played it right. He played the strategy game right. And he's going right after. Oh, there's Rusty Wallace is slow. Zachary goes all the way to the apron to avoid because he didn't know where Rusty was going. Zachary is just on it tonight. But Rusty Wallace is off the pace. I think Rusty may have made contact with the outside wall. That's going to stack up this field. That might bring in Kevin Harvick, though, because this entire field is now stacked up. They go side by side enough. Harvick's going to catch this pack. Harvick got around wall trip, so yeah, he's definitely going to catch him. There you see Mark Martin coming off of pit road. Harvick's going to get around him. That's another car that Harvick won't have to worry about. Zachary's all the way up there going into turn 3. Harvick is trying to get closer. He's got 21 more laps to do so. Zachary gets around Joe Nemechek. As now we head to 20 laps to go. We're in the final 5th of this race. Zachary knew that he had a fast car to win the Winston, but he just needed enough tire to do it. We said it before, and tonight may be the night. All Zachary needs to do is just savor enough tire all the way to the end for the next 20 laps. But in doing so, he's got to hope that Harvick cannot get around these lap cars any quicker than Zach has been able to all night long. Harvick's got to catch Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kenny Wallace ahead, then go after Jason Keller, Jeremy Mayfield, Dale Jarrett, Hermie Sadler, then get Steve Park and Joe Nemechek, which looks like he's got damage on the right front again. There's a lot of cars he's got to pass. I mean, Bill Elliott's another one, and if Mark Martin gets to him, that's another car. If Zachary gets around Ryan Newman, that is also another car. If he gets around Craven or Kyle Petty, that's 2 more cars. 18 laps to go. Zachary just maintaining the gap, maintaining the pace, doing everything he can. Seeing what these cars ahead are going to do. Looks like they kind of stacked up a little bit. Newman's going to go right to the outside of Kyle Petty to maybe try to see if he can find a way around him, but Petty's going to go to the inside of Craven. Zachary's going to take advantage of Newman getting caught behind Craven, and there goes Zach. 2 cars in 1 corner again. Gets an amazing run. Is he going to get Kyle Petty on the straightaway? He clips the grass a little bit, the fake grass. He clips the grass. Goes to the inside of Kyle Petty as he enters 1, and Zachary's got 3 cars, an extra 3 cars in between him and Harvick. Zachary's just making this more difficult than Harvick if Harvick can get to him. So we're going to look further back. There's Steve Park in the 31. There's Harvick. He passed Junior. He's passed Wallace. Got Johnny Benson in the 10 who's following. Harvick's got a ways to go to get to Zach. But there's a lot of cars. He is even behind Earnhardt Jr. and Kenny Wallace and Johnny Benson who have fresh tires. As a matter of fact, I think Benson has fresher tires than Harvick does. You see Harvick running that middle line. That's how Harvick was able to gain some time and even maintain the gap over Zach. He's going to try to do the exact same thing. But Zach is all the way up there in 3. Harvick's still trying to run him down. He's got 4 cars ahead of him. Joe Nemechek, Jason Keller, Hermie Sadler, and Jeremy Mayfield. But then he's also got Steve Park, Dale Jarrett ahead as well, along with Craven. There's Kurt Busch now. He's going to be in the middle of this. Ryan Newman and Kyle Petty's in the middle of it. Here soon, it might be Jimmie Johnson. This is a car that Zachary thought he was going to fight all night long. Zachary's probably wondering why Jimmie Johnson's so far back. Some further ahead. Oh, Tony's got damage on the right front. Looks like he may have made contact on the front straightaway. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, definitely damage on that Home Depot Chevy. There's slow cars on the back straightaway between Jay McMurray and Buckshot and even Ricky Rudd. Jay McMurray, who was having a stellar night, has had his night essentially come to an end now. After contact with Buckshot, it looks like. Look further ahead. There's Bill Elliott, Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, Tony Raines. Slow car, Terry Labonte up on the outside. Jerry Nadeau got around him. That is yet another contact, another hard into the wall moment for the number 5 of Terry Labonte. Somehow that 5 car is still going. I don't know how it is, but it is. So look further ahead. Nadeau trying to do something. You saw McMurray on pit road. There's Kenseth. right behind Dale Jr. Now Harvick's in it. He's got to work. He's got to pay attention because he's got drivers on fresher tires. Johnny Benson, the 10's one of them. Kurt Busch in the 97 is another, and Mark Martin behind him is another as well. He's really got to pay attention. Here comes Kurt. Harvick's got to pay attention. He can't let them go. If he's going to let them go, he's got to follow in their trails. But he's got to get around the lap traffic. He doesn't want to get stuck behind more. And he doesn't get around Joe Nemechek. Tony Stewart and Jamie McMurray coming up through. He's 3 wide with Jason Keller and Kurt Busch. That's not going to... He went from 3 wide to 2 wide. Now he's going to get passed by Kurt. Here comes the other 2. This is going oh so wrong for Kevin Harvick in the 29. He is stuck behind lap traffic. He can't go anywhere. He's still trying to maybe get around the 25. He might just want Benson to give him a little bump to maybe get around him. But Harvick doesn't. He can't run the bottom. That's Harvick's main issue. He needs to run the middle, but he can't. Harvick's not fast around the inside. He's fast on the middle, but the middle is being taken up by Nemechek in the 25. Now look at those. The lap cars ahead are actually pulling away. Harvick finally gets him. He's in the middle. Here comes Benson, though, in the 10, making it more difficult on Harvick. They have 10 laps to go. Benson on the inside of Harvick. Will they get together? Will they get put in the wall? He doesn't get put in the wall. Harvick runs the ultra outside. He runs the outside line closest to the wall, trying to get a run on Benson. But Benson's not going to give him any leeway. McMurray and Tony Stewart are getting involved now. Harvick is not getting cut any sort of slack. Harvick is really trying to keep these 2. He's trying to maybe make something. He knows he's got a car to catch Zach. He knows that Zach is getting away. He can get to him. But these lap cars are preventing him. Tony Stewart and Jamie McMurray are about to prevent it even more. Harvick is really trying to get around Mark Martin, the 6. And also Tony Stewart and McMurray have joined the fight. As they enter the back straightaway, they're going to be 3 wide almost. But Harvick gets the advantage. Harvick just needs to put together a really good 3 and 4, but he can't. He got a little bit loose. Here comes Mark Martin again. They make contact, and the wall goes Harvick. Harvick into the wall. That's Harvick's night over. The dominant car of the night. Harvick is out of it. There goes Kenseth. There goes Nadeau. A little bit of contact with Michael Waltrip. It's over for Kevin Harvick, and the caution, I think, is out. It is. The caution's out. It's night over for Kevin Harvick in the 29. And Zach has no idea. There's Zach on the front straightaway. He has no clue. His closest competitor's out of the race. Oh my Lord. This is huge for Zach now. Oh my dear God. The amount of things that can change off of one pit stop. Let's get a replay and right on board with Mark Martin. Oh, man. It seems like Harvick was trying to maybe try to force Martin to let off throttle, but on board with Benson, yeah, Harvick just kind of went down on Martin. Martin ran the same line. Martin didn't do anything wrong. On board with Tony to see what he saw. See Harvick, he's out ahead. He gets a little squirrely. A little bit squirrely again. He gets really squirrely and he gets right down into Martin and gets into the wall. Man, oh man. On board with McMurray, who was directly behind Harvick when he smacked the wall in 3 and 4. You see, both Martin and McMurray got a run. Yeah, Harvick looked like he was just trying to force the issue on Mark Martin and try to get him to slow down, and it just did not work in his favor. Well, let's run on board with Harvick. This is going to be a hard lick. Man. You even heard him lift a few times as well. He knew that his car was loose. He knew he was pushing so hard that his car was eventually going to get loose and he was going to hit somebody. And he hit Martin hard enough to where it damaged his car essentially to the point where it was undrivable. Let's take a look at from the Lightyear blimp. You see Harvick. Mark gets a really good run. Yeah, Harvick, he's just really loose. He was loose. He wasn't trying to force Martin to back out of it. He was just loose, and he was just trying to hold on to it, and the more loose he got, the more his car just got closer and closer to Martin, and, well, it cost him. It cost him big time. And that is Kevin Harvick's night over. Whew. Well, we're going to have 6 laps to go, and Zachary right now is the leader, and he could possibly win. And the last rookie to win the Coca-Cola 600 as a rookie was Matt Kenseth 3 years ago. But also look at the list of drivers who have won the Coca-Cola 600. Drivers such as Jimmie Johnson, David Pearson, Nelson Stacy, Fled Lorenzen, Jim Pascal, Marvin Panch, Buddy Baker, Leroy Yarbo, Donnie and Bobby Allison, Petty, Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Benny Parsons, Neil Bonnet, Earnhardt Sr., Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace, and the list goes on. As we see the top 10 drivers as to where they're going to restart these final 4 laps. Zachary restarts first, with Kenseth restarting in second. Jerry Nadeau restarts third. Jeff Byrne restarts fourth. Dave Blaney restarts fifth. Bobby Labonte will restart in sixth. Jeff Green will restart seventh. Shirley Marlin will restart in eighth. Casey Mears will restart in ninth. And Elliott Sadler will restart in 10th. And since it is under 10 laps to go, the lap cars will go all the way to the back of the pack. There's Sterling Marlin. You see Casey Mears actually stuck behind his teammate Jamie McMurray in the 42, but looks like he's gonna get around him, and he will. Casey Mears, that 41 car, he's had a really good night, and he could cap it off with the top 10. But also Zachary in the 80 car, who is leading this race. One of the things that he can do is he can make history. He can add himself to the list of rookies, which will only be 2 if he can win tonight. The guy behind him is second. Matt Kenseth won this race before. He won it 3 years ago in his rookie season. Zachary has the exact same opportunity to do it again. As we're going to go back racing here in the Coca-Cola 600. Green flag is back in the air. Zachary leads the field to green. Zach gets a nice launch, maintaining the gap over Matt Kenseth. He didn't jump to start. Kenseth actually followed suit with him. Kenseth actually kind of closing that gap a little bit. There's a lot to play for between these two. Zachary looking for his 3rd career win and his first Crown Jewel event win. Kenseth looking for his first win of the 2003 season. The battle for 3rd between Burton, Blaney, and Nadeau is ongoing. Nadeau having an amazing run tonight. Bobby Labonte in the 18 having a good run tonight. Dave Blaney's also having a good run tonight. Don't want to forget about him. Kenseth, can he try to maybe get to Zach? But look at Zach, he's pulling away. He's still running that bottom like he's got fresher tires. He's hooking that bottom line. Look at him going 3 and 4. Hooks that bottom. And as he heads off of 4, they're coming to 2 laps to go. Blaney and Nadeau are fighting it out for 3rd place. Zachary just maintaining it over Kenseth. Kenseth trying to maybe find an opportunity to gain some time on Zach. Hey, he's gotten a little close, maybe. Who knows? Look further back. See Casey Mears, he's going at it on Jeff Green in the 30, and Elliott Sadler in the 38. Being a career night for the 41 of Casey Mears. Is off of turn number 4. The white flag is out one more time for the 80 of Zach. History is on the line for Zachary. In June at Martinsville, Zachary won that race 2 years and 2 weeks on from his grandmother's passing and got his 2nd career win. The only thing that came out of his eyes that day were tears of joy. But tonight, he's going to be celebrating all night long as Zachary rounds turn number 4. The Coca-Cola 600 goes to Zachary Smithly. Zachary becomes only the 2nd driver in Winston Cup history as a rookie to win the Coca-Cola 600. And the first driver to do it is the guy that finished second to him tonight, in Matt Kenseth in the 17. What a job done from Zach. What a race. I say what a finish, but also what a finish. Burton will get third, it looks like. Maybe not, as a matter of fact. Who knows? We're going to find out with the official results. But Zachary Smithly finally gets another win. And above all else, he regains his points lead coming out of tonight's race. So Zachary Smithly is back on top once again in the point standings. Who knew that through the first 12 races, a rookie will have led the series championship? Who'd have thought it? Who would have thought that would have happened? I don't think any of us did. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure a lot of us thought that a veteran of the sport would have led the point standings. But Zachary has continued to show us why he's going to be a championship threat come season's end. And he was also the first driver to get 3 wins on the season. So good job to Zach. But here are the finishing results of tonight's race. Zachary Smithly gets the job done. He wins the Coca-Cola 600 with Matt Kenseth in second, Jerry Nadeau in third, Dave Blaney fourth, Jeff Byrne in fifth, Elliott Sadler P6, Bobby Labonte in seventh, Jeff Green in eighth, Sterling Marlin in ninth, and Casey Mears with yet another top 10 finish on the season. Like I said, Casey Mears, he's doing pretty good. He's quietly having a good season. And then you got Steve Park finishing in 11th, Kyle Petty in 12th, Ricky Craven in 13th, Jason Keller in 14th, Jeremy Mayfield in 15th, Bill Elliott 16th, Joe Nemechek 17th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 18th, Ward Burton in 19th, and Michael Waltrip in 20th. Considering where Michael Waltrip was after the first lap, a top 20, I'm pretty sure is a finish that he is definitely fine with. And so is Ward Burton with that 19th, and Dale Jr. with his 18th. And then you got Ken Schrader in 21st, Kenny Wallace in 22nd, Jeff Gordon 23rd, Tony Raines 24th, John Andretti in 25th, Ricky Rudd 26th, Kurt Busch 27th, Dale Jarrett in 28th, Jamie McMurray in 29th, and Ryan Newman in 30th. Craven, McMurray, and Newman, who were up there in the beginning, just did not have the end of the night like they were hoping. Ryan Newman, in turn, actually lost a point lead because of it. And you got Hermie Sadler finishing in 31st, Mark Martin in 32nd, Tony Stewart 33rd, Greg Biffle in 34th, Jimmy Spencer 35th, Robbie Gordon in his first points race with DEI in 36th, Rusty Wallace 37th, Buckshot Jones 38th, Johnny Benson in 39th, and Todd Bodine finishes in 40th. And then we have the last 3 drivers. Kevin Harvick, 41st, Jimmie Johnson, 42nd, and Terry Labonte, 43rd. It was almost Harvick's race. It really was. It was almost Harvick's race. Almost got the job done. And it was just not meant to be, unfortunately. But next time out, probably at Dover, he'll probably get his redemption. Who knows? We'll see. But let's go on ahead and check out the point standings coming out of today's race. So, like we said before, Zachary Smithly actually regains the point lead from Ryan Newman, who's now second. Jeff Gordon is now third with Ricky Rudd in fourth. Matt Kenseth up to fifth. Bill Elliott in sixth. Jimmie Johnson in seventh. Jeff Green in eighth. Kurt Busch ninth. And Michael Waltrip still remains in the top 10. Then you got Jeff Byrne in 11th. Kevin Harvick in 12th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 13th. Jamie McMurray 14th. Bobby Labonte in 15th. Tony Stewart in 16th, Elliott Sadler 17th, John Andretti in 18th, Jeremy Field in 19th, and Sterling Marlin in 20th. You got Tony Raines 21st, Dale Jarrett 22nd, Craig Biffle 23rd, Rusty Wallace 24th, Kenny Wallace 25th, Johnny Benson in 26th, Kyle Petty 27th, Sterling Marlin 28th, Dave Blaney in 29th, and Steve Park still in 30th. Then Joe Nemechek 31st, Terry Labonte in 32nd, Casey Mears 33rd, Ricky Craven 34th, and Jerry Nadeau in 35th. And you got Todd Bodine in 36th, Ward Burton in 37th, Jimmy Spencer 38th, Robbie Gordon 39th, Ken Schrader in 40th, Larry Foy 41st, Mike Skinner 42nd, Jack Sprague, hopefully he gets well soon, in 43rd, Casey Atwood 44th, Mike Wallace 45th, Christian Fittipaldi 42nd, Jason Keller 47th, Kerry Earnhardt 48th, Hermie Sadler 49th, Buckshot Jones 50th, Scott Pruitt 51st, Kirk Shelmerdine 52nd, Brett Bodine 53rd, and Derek Cope in 54th. So that is how the standings are looking like after the Coca-Cola 600. And as we head into Dover, the next race, which is going to be the MBNA Armed Forces 400 at the Dover International Speedway. So we're going to see how that all kind of fares next time out at Dover. But other than that, though, that is it for tonight, everybody. Congratulations to Zachary Smithly on the win, and we hope he enjoys this one forever. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification button down below for some more. I'll see you all next Saturday in Dover, Delaware. And until then, congratulations to Zachary Smithly on his third career win and adding his name to the list of Coca-Cola 600 winners and his name to the list of rookies who have won the Coca-Cola 600, which now sits at 2. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. I love you all oh so very much. And for the final time tonight, goodbye.